Welcome to another episode of Healthy Cooking with me, Chef Keith. This is the show where I will show you how to make healthy meals in the comfort of your very own kitchen. But before I go any further, let's thank our sponsors who have made this show possible, and they are Zulina Health, Wellness, and Fitness, Paper to Film Productions, Revolution Meals, and Renovations. Now, sit back, relax, and let's do a little healthy cooking with me on the Source Radio Network, Chef Keith. Welcome back, Source Nation. Got a little something special for you again this week. And we're going to make some pecan crusted salmon and Brussels sprouts. First, what I did at the same time, I peeled 3 potatoes, white potatoes. I want to make a simple mashed potato dish as an extra side. And all I'm going to do is cube my potatoes up, nice big chunks. Just getting everything ready. This dish is all about prep time. It's all about getting everything prepared. Cooking takes almost no time because we're going to use seafood, so never really takes a lot of time to do. So I'm just going to go through my potatoes, one slice through the middle, and just chop a little rough chop like that. Now I also want to say happy birthday to my oldest son Cyrus, who just turned 14. Just turned 14, so he's 2 years into being a teenager, and he's looking for hair on his face, I guess, sometime soon. So he's on spring break now, so he's really spring breaking it, I tell you. Straight relax mode. Alright, so this is a meal for 3. So I have 3 potatoes. That'll be our mashed potatoes. I'm going to let that sit for a bit. And before I start boiling everything, I want to do the prep before I start boiling. Alright, so here we have our pecans. Alright, and I'm just going to take my pecans and I'm going to chop them up as fine as I can, small pieces. We don't want really any big pieces here. So just going to go across with my knife, chop up some pecans. More chopped. Like I said, you want to make the pieces as small as you can. This is going to coat everything for you. All the elements, well, not the mashed potatoes, will have some sort of pecans in them. Really, really tasty. There we go. Continue to fine chop there. Let's go across one more time. Just going to go ahead and keep chopping pecans nice and fine. Crunchy, tasty, delicious. Alright, so I got 2 bowls. Alright, so with one bowl, I'm going to take half our pecan mixture. I'm going to put it in here. I have a second bowl. I'm going to put the rest of the pecans in. scrape everything off here. Right to our bowl. You see, nice, chopped and fine. And I'm saying see to those of you who are watching on Healthy Cooking with Chef Keith on the Source Radio Network, and also those of you who are listening, you are listening to Healthy Cooking with Chef Keith on the Source Radio Network. So you can watch me on the Source Radio Network page and on Keeping the Streets. And for those of you who are listening, after the show, make sure you go and check out the video. Okay, so what I got here is some Brussels sprouts. It's about a half a pound. And I'm just going to take my Brussels sprouts, give them one good chop right down the middle. Nice crunchy Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts taste good. They taste very good when they're not cooked. But we are going to cook them for this particular dish. And one quick chop down the middle. They smell like cabbage. They're like little cabbages to me. So if you like cabbage, you like Brussels sprouts, possibly. Alright, so one quick chop down the middle. So what we're going to do with the Brussels sprouts, with the smaller portion of our excess pecans, we're going to go ahead and put our Brussels sprouts in the bowl with our pecans. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle a little olive oil. Put some olive oil in here. Just going to use some kosher salt. Doesn't have to be too much. About a tablespoon. We want to use some black pepper. And I also got some Italian seasoning. You can use any type of seasoning. This one has a little bit of everything, but there's no salt in it. Alright, so I got everything nice and poured into the bowl. So all I'm going to do is stir everything around to coat. So we're going to get our seasoning all over everything. We're going to get our pecans nice and covered up. So we're just going to just dump everything around. Get a nice little coat like so. And I'm just going to put that on the side there. Now, also, what I have here is some balsamic vinegar. Now, I'm not going to turn this on just yet, but with the vinegar, I'm going to put about a cup of vinegar. I'm going to put about a cup of balsamic vinegar in a pan. I'm going to set that to the side. We're going to put that on the stove once we get started. Now also what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some water boiling because we're going to drop some shrimp in there in a second. Okay, so for our next step, I'm going to take a half a stick of unsalted butter here. Just gonna go ahead and put this into a bowl. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of honey here. Yep, nature's superfood. Alright, so about a 1/4 cup of honey there. I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to toss our shrimp into that a little bit. Okay. Alright, so we got our little fish cutting board here, a little seafood cutting board. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are listening to Healthy Cooking with Chef Keith on the Source Radio Network. Thank you for joining us. And so what I got here, I have my oven set to 400. See, I got some wild caught salmon here. It's nice and fresh. Still has the skin on it. These are nice fillets here. Alright. So with our salmon, what we're going to do is okay, so we have our salmon, and what I'm going to do with the salmon here is I'm going to put a little olive oil in a little dish right here. Alright. So I almost lost my little utensil here. So what I'm going to do is take some olive oil, and I'm just going to paint the olive oil right across the salmon. Just like painting a picture. So we're just going to take our there's our olive oil. We're just going to paint it right on there. Get a nice shiny surface. Okay. And what I'm going to do now, after I paint it on there, I'm going to take some black pepper. We're going to put our black pepper on here. And we're going to take some kosher salt. I'm going to sprinkle some kosher salt across the top. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is bring back our other bowl of pecans. Let's move some stuff out the way. We got a high production area here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my salmon and I am going to put it into the pecans like so and press down and the pecans just start to stick. So I'm going to take my second fillet. These are great pieces, by the way. Alright, so you get it crusted like that. So we get our second piece like so, and then our third piece we're just gonna press our salmon, get the pecans nice and stuck on there. Alright, so there's our pecan crust. If you have any extra pecans left, you can go ahead and press them on there like so. Anything that's left, and just press it in just like that. I think what I'll do is I'll take what's left of the pecans that I didn't use, and I'll put them in here with the butter and honey. This is actually going on the shrimp, so, and it'll be cooked, so won't worry about the fish tasting there. So there's our salmon. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I have some parchment paper here. I'm going to take my Brussels sprouts, and I am going to take my Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to lay them around the salmon. Just take all this little space here. So I don't necessarily want them touching the salmon, even though it won't hurt anything. But this is just the cooking technique that I want to use. So we're just going to go ahead and put everything right here around. So we're just going to take our take them and just put them all in our open spaces. And we'll just find some places for them to be. There we go. And we're just going to take our pecans and sprinkle them all around the outside. There we go. Alright. So this is going to go into the oven for 15 to 18 minutes at 400 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for this water to boil. Once it gets to a nice rolling boil, nice and bubbly, it's getting there now. You can see the bubbles forming in the bottom. I'm going to drop my shrimp in there just for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, no more than 5. That's all they're going to need with the water. They're not frozen, so they'll be fine. Also, I have my potatoes. They're going. So once they get boiled, once they get all soft to a fork tender, you put a fork and they're just going to break apart. Then they'll be ready to go, just a few minutes. And also in the back, I have my balsamic vinegar. It'll be going. It's actually a little bit over low. I'm not going to cook it too fast. When it reduces down to about half, I'm going to add some honey to it to sweeten it, and that's going to be our glaze for our salmon. Also, in our honey and our butter, a little bit of pecan mixture, I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. And when we get to when the shrimp is ready, actually before the shrimp is, when I put it in, I'm going to put when I say I put it in, I'm going to put the shrimp into our pot. When I put them in, I'm going to drop this pan into the oven to mix it all together. Once the shrimp comes out of the water, I'm going to toss it in this sauce and we'll be ready to go. Alright, so this is salted water. It's boiling hot. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my shrimp, and they're already peeled and clean, and we'll go right into the water, 3 to 5 minutes. Also, see, they're already starting to cook, so I was going to take. Alright, we got everything nice and smoky. Our balsamic vinegar is reducing, so I'm just going to add some honey. Give it a nice little something sweet. Our potatoes, just going to add just a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, a little salt and pepper. That's how we're going to do that. We're going to make that nice and simple. And I'm going to take this bowl and I'm going to put this into our oven. Alright, so you see our salmon here. Alright, it's been in for about 18 minutes, and all I'm going to do is take some of our balsamic glaze. I'm just going to drizzle that right on the top. And just going to sprinkle that right down over the top. Alright, and right here, just to get everything nice and ready to go, you see our potatoes. Just gonna add just a tablespoon of butter, a little heavy cream, a little kosher salt, little black pepper, alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and mash that up. Nice and easy. See, there's nothing really to that. Nice and easy. Alright. And last but not least, set that to the side. I got my honey and butter and pecans. I'm just going to drop my shrimp down in there. I'm just going to get everything nice and coated. No drama here, just happy faces. Get it all nice and coated. And And there you have it. Nice and easy to do. Pecan crusted salmon with the honey balsamic vinegar glaze. I'll see you next week. Now, wasn't that easy? And once you try it, you'll find out just how tasty it will be. But before I let you go, we want to thank our sponsors one more time, and they are Zulina Health, Wellness and Fitness, Paper to Films Productions, Revolution Meals, and Renovation. So join us again next week on the Source Radio Network. Thank you for joining me, Chef Keith. I'll see you next week.